over $1,200 in value from a mid-tier Delta credit card. Let's discuss. First things first, I was in desperate need of a credit card a few weeks ago for a big upcoming purchase that I had to make, and I reviewed some cards from American Express and Chase, mostly business cards. Now, I've been an American Airlines loyalist for a minute now, going on 5+ years, holding Platinum Pro or Executive Platinum status for every single one of those years. Well, it's a new day. And although I'm still pursuing Platinum Pro status and I've done some advanced strategy videos that you can see here on how to hit that status with American Airlines, I think I need to put a little bit more effort into some of the other airlines, Delta specifically. So after looking at my options on some upcoming trips that I have with Delta and not having status with Delta, I thought it was a good opportune time for me to analyze the Delta credit cards. And in this case, the business credit cards, and I had my eye on the Delta Business Gold card. Some main reasons: the first year annual fee was zeroed out with this card, and it has some solid perks and benefits that come along with it. But after applying for this card a few times and getting denied each time getting this notification that you see here, I was starting to get concerned that I was placed into pop-up jail. But with AMEX's application process and being able to see if you're approved or denied for a card before submitting the application, I wanted to check and see if this was still the case if I were to apply for a different credit card, this one being the Delta Business Platinum card. So I decided to try that application process, and I was approved. So later on in this video, I'll show you the steps for the application process, but now let's dig into why I went about applying for this card, the use case, and the value that I'm gonna get out of this card to get more than $1,200 in value here the first year alone. I'm not a huge fan of these co-branded credit cards, but they do have some value, especially the ones that have limited transferable currencies that transfer out to those ecosystems. And now with you being rewarded for spending within these ecosystems and there being credits and benefits that are tied to that, I do think that there is some value in the Delta ecosystem, more so on the domestic side with redemptions. By the way, I do get a ton of value out of my American Airlines miles, and my mission is to continue to stack up those miles. I'm full speed ahead there. I'm just doing this kind of in combination with the Delta ecosystem as well, based on some ways that you can get value out of the ecosystem overall. So speaking of that, let's dig in on the value that I plan to get out of this Delta Platinum business card. So first up, the elephant in the room, preserving one of my Chase 524 spots, which I talked about in one of my previous videos, and the fact that the American Express business cards tend to give you a higher credit limit than the Chase cards, just from my experiences. Next, the welcome offer, 65,000 Delta SkyMiles after spending $6K within the first 6 months. Say what you will about the value of SkyMiles, I do see some value in domestic redemptions, and this more than covers the annual fee and then some. Also, I had a spend of $6K that I had to make, and you get an elevated 1.5x miles with any spend over $5K on this card. So when you combine that and the 9,000 miles I earned with hitting the 65,000 miles for the welcome offer, 74,000 miles for one transaction, and when you combine that with the fact that you save 15% of your miles when you redeem with having this card, essentially another 11,000 miles in my pocket. The earning for this card and any of the Delta cards for that matter is pretty bad. And I'll continue to book my flights with my American Express Platinum card since it gets me 5x membership rewards points. But this card does have some other credits and benefits, so let's check these out. So first up, the Resy credit. This is one of those AMEX typical monthly credits where they try to keep it top of mind for you in spending with this card. Now this credit is $10 a month, better returns than you're gonna get with any other food card if you're only spending 20, 30, 40 bucks at a restaurant. I'll probably use this a few times over the course of the year if I remember. This $200 Delta Stays credit, this is pretty good in my opinion, regardless of your loyalty to any specific hotel. For me, I'll take the family out to the beach for a night or two over the weekend, get most of my hotel covered with this $200 credit. So definitely something that I get some value out of. So next up, another monthly credit, this one being the $10 rideshare credit. Super simple and easy for me to use. I use rideshare a lot for work and for personal getting around town. If I'm meeting my friends out for dinner or a couple of drinks, this is plugged into the rotation with some other cards that I use. That rotation is starting to get pretty full, but this $10 credit is something I'll get value out of every single month. The companion cert does hit after the renewal of this card, so I'm not factoring any of this value in for the first year. but I will get value out of this year too. My wife and I do take a trip to Europe together every single summer. We take 3 to 4 trips a year with the kids. So I will get value out of this cert one way or another. A lot of times it's repositioning flights from Tampa to another airport to fly abroad, since we don't have too many options from Tampa. So this is definitely something that I'll get $300, $400, $500 in value out of. So couple that with the free check bag for myself, plus up to 8 people on my reservation. Not that I'll ever be traveling with 8 people, but the Griswolds is a family of 4, so we are growing. But this, just for me and my wife, and free check bags will save at least $120 a year, if not a lot more than that. So this is definitely value to me and a third of the annual fee cost of this card. There's definitely other benefits that come with this card. Nothing that really stands out to me with the protections, the TSA credit, and things like that. But if you don't have other travel cards, this could be some value to you, just not anything that I'm placing value on myself. People want to hate on this card, and I get it. It doesn't earn well on flights, and that's something you think that it would at least earn competitively on Delta flights. But that's not the intention of Delta and American Express. They're trying to get you to spend on these cards in other ways. And that's one reason they put all these monthly credits here, so that you're thinking about this card more often, it's in your wallet more often, and you're spending on things that you may not necessarily spend on with this card in particular. Another thing, this card does come with AMEX offers, and there are some pretty good AMEX offers. I've already taken advantage of a few of them. I bought some new sunglasses, got a really good return and a statement credit, point stacking this with one of my shopping ecosystems. So definitely make sure you're paying attention to and taking advantage of these AMEX offers and leveraging it through a shopping portal if possible. I've already used this Delta Platinum card a couple of times to purchase things online, getting statement credits on my Platinum card, and getting miles through American Airlines and the e-shopping program. You can also look at Rakuten or some of the others. Cashback Monitor is more of a conglomerate that I've mentioned before that will show you where you can earn the best with those shopping ecosystems. So based on all the value points that I just mentioned, I'm planning to get more than $1,200 in value out of this Delta Platinum card, a card that wasn't even on my radar a month ago. So it just goes to show you, as long as you're not spending outside of your means, if there's bigger purchases that are on the horizon, make sure you're leveraging one of these cards, whether it's a business card or a personal card, to hit those welcome offers so that you could take trips with your friends and family, so you could stack up these miles, leverage that with these different shopping ecosystems, and get a ton of value out of these cards. Worst case scenario, year 2, I downgrade this card to the gold card, or I cancel it outright, just depending on the value that I see moving forward with this card. Not to give you an idea of what I plan to use some of these Delta points for, and that there are solid cent per point redemptions still available through Delta. You just have to know some of the tricks or just get lucky on your searches. So I'm going to take my family back to Cancun, just north this time to Playa Mujeres, just a little getaway before my older kids start school. And we're going to be flying from Tampa to Cancun. Now, coming back, we're going to fly direct on JetBlue. I found an amazing redemption there, less than 10,000 points per person. So definitely going to take advantage of that. But going to Cancun, this does have a connection in Atlanta, but I do have some of these Delta points that I want to use. So you could see the cash price on the main class is $207 per person. Now to look at the redemption cost in terms of miles. One, having this Delta SkyMiles Platinum card does get you that 15% discount with redemptions through Delta with your points. And this was a pretty good redemption as is, but just getting that 7,200 miles in savings, it brings the total for a family of 4 to fly to Cancun to 40,800 miles. So if we were to do the calculations here, 40,800 miles minus the taxes and fees for the cash equivalent, you're still looking at a 1.55 cents per point redemption for these flights. And if we were to go with Delta Comfort, it was an even better redemption. So just some things to think about. And there are some solid redemptions with Delta, a little better redemption than you would get with like the Chase portal using the Sapphire Reserve or some of the other cards available. If you think you could get value out of this card, or if any of these strategies that I've just shown will help you out, make sure you take advantage and grab one of my referral links down below. Holler at me with any questions that you have. Let's stack up those points and miles and redeem them for incredible memories. I appreciate your time, and until next time, cheers.